Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode on No, but seriously, let me explain. Hosted by the beautiful, intelligent Earth Angel Lala Davi. This podcast was designed to provide detailed business advice, next-level resources, personal credit tips, and relatable relationship knowledge. Be sure to bookmark this page and subscribe because we wouldn't want you to miss any valuable content. And if you're struggling with poor credit, don't even worry about it. Just text Help My Credit to 507-400-3426. That's 507-400-3426. We have live agents standing by to cater to all your service requests. And now that that's out the way, let's make room for what the host has to say. Lala Davi, do your thing, girl.
Welcome to No, but Seriously. Let me explain. The phenomenal podcast series that will keep you fully engaged with all the tips and tricks that you need in order to be successful, while giving you lots and lots of flavor. I am your host, Lala Davi, and today I want to finish off the month by adding a little bit more love in the air. Today we're going to discuss unhealthy attachments. Are you in a relationship with attachments that make you feel secure? No, but seriously, let me explain. If relations is the main reason for us all being here, then how can you determine whether or not the connection is right for you? Like, how do you really know if you have healthy attachments when you're in relationships? Looking over the past experiences in your relationships. Have you ever entered into a relationship for the wrong reason? Then wonder why you've had so many piss poor relationships to the point where you're just ready to give up on love. I've seen people jump into relationships just because the person looked good or they have status, like they got a huge following, like they got money in the bank, they can provide some type of lifestyle, whatever the case may be. And, you know, a lot of the times they just looking for some type of come up in some type of way. However, these unhealthy attachment styles, they can lead to all kind of issues in a relationship. People may become clingy, controlling, overly possessive due to fear of abandonment or rejection. But you're probably wondering why all of this is important to you. Well, it should definitely be important to you to a certain degree, because without some type of attachment, there would be no attraction between both people. So when you don't have any type of attachment, either one that you're really satisfied with, then you'll always be in search of someone that's more compatible, or it'll just be like you'll be together, but you don't talk and you don't share anything with each other. So it'll be a pretty dull relationship if you ask me. However, we all know that relationships tend to fail quickly if, you don't communicate. Besides, who wouldn't want to know what their partner is dealing with or how to communicate with them before getting too far down the road with them, and then they end up at a corner of lose-lose street? No, but seriously, save yourself some time. Let me explain. Every attachment style has a reason behind it. And there are several different styles of attachments when you're in relationships. When you understand the difference between those attachments, it will definitely help you along the way. And knowing your attachment style, especially if you have an insecure attachment style, this will allow you to communicate more effectively on how and why you have certain behaviors. Then on top of that, it'll allow your partner to fully understand you and be able to cater to you a little bit better without having too much riffraff or back and forth with each other. Everyone wants a healthy home life, and it's just that much more enjoyable when you have peace without them putting up their defenses pertaining to certain attachments, like certain attachment styles are prone to do. Like, you can also discover which category you fall under by first figuring out if your natural response is like a flight, flee, or freeze type of confrontation, because in our brains, we interpret that as disconnection. And that type of disconnection is similar to a threat, a physical threat in our brains, and we react in certain ways when that is triggered. So learning to cope and deal with it, in a sense, will definitely help you along the way. Like, if you're feeling disconnected or you're feeling attacked in your relationships and it leads you to push into this resolve it as fast as possible type of a response, then there's a reason why this is happening, and you need to seek reassurance. In other words, process this, because you probably have some type of a anxious attachment style. And with that, they typically tend to use every tool they have, from engagement to criticism and interrogation, and they may even follow their partner from room to room in an argument just to find relief and reconnection. And then they tend to go into this fight mode just to rescue the relationship and themselves. They are pursuers, and they tend to restore relationships in their eyes. Like, they feel the need to fix things oftentimes. When pursuers get exhausted from all of their efforts and they feel like there's no availability, or they tend to get burnt out, like they feel as though they may be withdrawing at that point, and they're typically burnt out due to overly pursuing, in a sense. And pursuers, they tend to get held up when they're caring too much and overly pursuing in certain areas of their desires, of course. And if you're feeling disconnected and you want to pull out of a relationship, or you feel withdrawn, isolated, then you need to take care of yourself. Then you probably have like this avoidant attachment style, like you flee from distress and you protect yourself from conflict and to protect yourself from emotional vulnerability. And you expect the other person to be able to do the same thing. So sometimes you feel the need to withdraw or freeze in the intensity of controlling, emotional distress. And you fear that, you may lose the ability to think well and organize your thoughts. So you just go ahead and wait until the conflict is over. And that's pretty much how avoidants tend to deal with conflicts versus trying to confront them at any cost. But back to the withdrawal, like if you're withdrawal, then they will eventually attack, and they do this to create a space in a relationship to withdraw again. Like it might look like a pursuer for the moment, and then they really are creating some type of space for them to withdraw in these moments rather than actually restore the relationship. Like withdrawals, they hate conflicts of all kinds, and then they don't particularly like isolation, but they're comfortable with it. They prefer connection. Like their greatest longing is to have that safety. If they feel safe and cared for, then they're usually come out of their shells typically. If you get caught in a cycle of pushing into relationships very quickly, ignoring boundaries, and you trust building early on in a relationship, then there may be a feeling of disconnection that triggers a fight response, which leads to an anger episode within yourself in which you might criticize and attack one person or feel the need to withdraw in shame or confusion, eventually feeling overwhelmed by the need for the relationship to be restored. Then you might have this disorganized attachment And this is more likely due to a trauma disorder than anything else. And I know you really can't trust yourself to show your anger, rage, trauma reaction because it'll blow up in the relationship. And this typically is because there's an anxious and some type of avoidant overlapping one another in this equation. And it's very exhausting and tragic. Like, having these attachment styles is very rare, but you can more than likely have several different attachment styles in one, but one would just be more dominant. In all seriousness, what is your attachment style in relationships? The way you answer this question would definitely help you save on your next relationship, and you may just minimize on a couple headaches or two. But what if I told you you could now test yourself on where you stand when it comes to those unhealthy attachments? You can go to the link right now at the bottom of this description box and check it right now. It's titled Relationship Attachment Style Test. I have definitely taken the attachment style test just to see where I may fall into those categories. But to my surprise, I definitely have a healthy relationship style. So I'm not surprised, but it's definitely true. I haven't felt unhealthy attachments to any partners, although I tend to be very independent with a strong work ethic. I do have the capability to give my man the leading role in my life while relying on him whenever it's necessary, and vice versa. Like, my man can rely on me and I can rely on him. However, I did have some dismissive, avoidant tendencies in the past where I would just totally just avoid all kind of conflicts at any cost. Like, the moment something was hot and heavy, oh, I'm out of there. Like, that was my way of coping with anything that was too strong or too hot and heavy. And I just felt like, hey, I don't need that energy. Let me just leave. But nonetheless, have you ever taken the time to really identify with most of the important things that you want in your relationship? Like, it's always a good idea to learn to show love to others without effort. Like, you don't have to be in love to really give love as often, as long as it's shown as some form of kindness to others or empathy or compassion of some sort. But if you're interested in a romantic relationship of some kind, then it's going to require you to have some level of attachment in order to fully embrace this connection. Like, have patience, time, have safe experiences with others, building trust, laughter, mutual caring and understanding, realizing that the fights, they don't end love, and just repeating good experiences over and over again, and doing some risk taking just to disclose your feelings, and knowing that your partner is in full receipt of you, and you both share compassion and dedication to each other. Of course, that's definitely important. Like, these are just a few things that people do in secured attachments, and it brings them to a place where, you know, relationships feel safe enough to thrive. But you definitely have to be in reciprocation of the same energy. But it's important that you are first secure within yourself, and an insecure person that has an insecure attachment style, they will create an insecurity not only in the relationship, but also within themselves. So you got to make sure you're worth it, all of it. Like, I'm worth having this relationship. We're worth being together. Like, you have to have this energy in order to feel security and to move yourself into more of a secured attachment style. And recognize that the relationship is something that involves you fully. If you were to shut down from the fear of not having them in your life, or you might feel that there's some type of dismiss in the relationship, or somebody trying to dismiss the relationship, or there may be some type of overconfidence that could be way too harmful. Either way, like these things, they could really cause harm in that relationship. And it's a two-person thing, and that means you can contribute your part and they contribute their part confidently and compassionately. But with all other jokes aside, I do recommend finding a therapist that specializes in attachment therapy or marriage or family counseling. They will definitely help navigate the ins and outs of your own thoughts on a daily basis, and they'll make sure that you and your partner develop some type of secure attachment style. Like, your body acts as a storehouse for your past traumas until you learn how to release it. But you have to learn how to release it in a healthy way. And that's why it's important to seek a therapist. They'll help you overcome these challenges. But it's up for the two of you to feel secure at all levels. So please don't be continuously playing house after dark with them. And the last thing you want to do is bring in an innocent child into this mix of unhealthy parenting. So love yourself first. Respect yourself as well, because sometimes your attachment style might have a negative influence on the person or the entire situation as a whole. If you can release yourself from a toxic and negative and abusive, one-sided, dead-end, lose-lose, low vibrational relationship or friendship, then you've already won, my friend. Like, a woman must feel as if her man is dependable, that he's healed, he's understanding, he's consistent, before she even begins to feel comfortable enough to open up the doors to intimacy. Like, at this point, she'll be able to feel the level as if she's interacting with her king. Like, that's a top notch. Like, he's catering to her, she's catering to him emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, and spiritually. And at this level, you would have unlocked the highest tier available for real success in love, because she will constantly contribute to your growth by supporting you in everything that you do, while catering to the foundation the two of you have already established. Because it's always a good idea to have a spirit that is more curious than combative. Like, I can't say this enough. And this is one way you'll be sure that things is going to be back to good for good. So why not have more of a curious energy instead of combative all the time? There's no need to fight. You can wrestle in bed, but that's for after dark. Nonetheless, when you know better, you start to do better. But most importantly, you got to make sure that the person you're choosing over everybody else is also choosing you. We have come to a very short commercial break, paid for by our lovely sponsors. So don't go anywhere after this message. We will be right back.
Yeah, what up, ATL? Look, you ballin', you bad and bougie with bad credit. That's most of y'all. But look, man, that's why y'all need to call my people at Exchange Credit Repair. That's right, Exchange Credit Repair will help you scrub them inquiries, get rid of them collections, and bankruptcy. They'll even take child support off. I didn't even know they put child support on credit. Woo-wee! And boost your credit score. Let's get that credit score where you want, so you can go get what you want. And if you mention Street 945, you get a 35% discount. Hein? So call my people right now at 678-420-5553, 678-420-5553, or visit my people at exchangecreditrepair.info. Exchange Credit Repair is a credit counseling business with experienced credit repair experts standing by to assist you right now. When I made this deal with them, I said, look here, you ain't got to pay me for the commercial. Just put my credit score where I want so I can go get what I want. When I went to them, they treated me like family. My privacy was all the way respected. They quick to fight for a client's right with the Bureau of Credit, creditors, and debt collectors. Conveniently located at 1 West Court Square in Decatur. Tell them Shout sent you.
So we all know that attachment issues, as well as most personality disorders, are caused by inconsistency in parenting, of course. and downright neglectful or abusive parenting at worst. In every case, an insecure attachment that I've typically seen is either due to two toxic parents, a single toxic parent, or a toxic parent paired with a toxic enabling parent. If there's a case of an anxious attachment, the parent switches back and forth between loving and being harsh and cruel to humiliating and shaming the child. And this is probably the most confusing parenting pattern for any type of child to try to figure out. Like, the parent usually, they believe that they're doing good because there's evidence of good parenting and good caretaking that hides the emotional and psychological abuse. But then when confronted, they tend to, fight tooth and nail that they're a good parent, and they never engaged in a psychological abuse in any type of way. But that's just because of their beliefs. And secured attachment is pretty much the hallmark for a good, stable, and secure parent. Like, the child is pretty much wired to know that they deserve a secure relationship and that they can count on people. So if you're someone that is in need of help, I would definitely find a therapist who specializes in attachment disorders for both parent and child separately. I have included some links down below with several coaches and therapists that are ready now to begin assisting you with this. As we have come to the end of the show, I really hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Don't hesitate to leave any comments, questions, or concerns or advice that you might have at goaxlala.com. The floor is always open to all of my incredible listeners. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, because you don't want to miss out on any of the new and exciting content coming your way. I would like to send you much love, give big thanks for tuning in to No, But Seriously, Let Me Explain. I am your host, Lala Davi, the one with all the sauce. I will see you again next week with more show for ya. Until then, stay bold, beautiful, and brilliant. Love ya.